Is ingeskakel op GROOTplaas en is tyd vir plaaspraatjies. Nou voordat ons by ons gas uitkom, kom ons kyk 'n bietjie. Ons weet die winter se grootste vyande is nie altyd die koue nie. Wanneer ons aan winter dink, dan dink ons aan ryp, ons dink aan ysige temperature, maar vir baie Suid-Afrikaanse boere is die grootste bedreiging glad nie die kou nie. Dit is veldbrande en veediefstal. In verskeie landbougebiede sê produsente hulle spandeer deesdae net soveel tyd aan die beveiliging van hulle plase as aan die versorging van hulle gewasse en diere. Nou, droë winterstoestande verhoog die risiko van verwoestende brande, terwyl veediefstal steeds groot finansiële verliese veroorsaak. Dit wys net weer dat boerdery lankal nie meer net oor plant en oes gaan nie, maar ook risikobestuur, paraatheid en die beskerming van alles waarvoor boere so hard werk. Nou, met die krisis in Europa en 'n hittegolf wat daarso is op die oomblik, is die winter effens anders as wat hulle verwag. Europa het onlangs onder 'n verseggende hittegolf deurgeloop met groot gevolge vir hulle pluimveebedryf natuurlik. Na raming het tot 3 miljoen hoenders gevrek onder 'n temperature eenvoudig te hoog geraak het. Boere moes noodmaatreëls tref om hulle oorblywende diere te probeer afkoel, maar in baie gevalle was dit dood eenvoudig net nie genoeg nie. Nou, die voorval beklemtoon hoe uiterste weerstoestande wêreldwyd al hoe groter uitdagings vir voedselproduksie skep. Dit dien ook as 'n herinnering dat klimaatsverandering nie net ons mense raak nie. En dan laastens, die Australianers is besig om hulle kunsmis te vervang met 'n plant. Australiaanse boere kyk deesdae na 'n verrassende oplossing om kunsmiskoste te verminder, en dit is 'n plant met die naam sunhemp. Hierdie gewas voeg natuurlike stikstof terug in die grond, verbeter grondgesondheid en kan die behoefte aan dierkunsmis aansienlik verminder. Sommige produsente sê dit kan hulle kunsmisverbruik met meer as 'n kwart verminder. Buiten die besparing help dit ook om die grond op 'n meer volhoubare manier te bestuur. En ons sien nou slim boere soms nie oor tegnologie gaan nie, maar oor die slim gebruik van die natuur as 'n oplossing vir hulle probleme. Dis plaaspraatjies vir vandag. Ons is terug op GROOTplaas net hierna. Welkom terug op GROOTplaas. Ons gas saam met ons vanoggend Sarah Barratt, en sy is onlangs aangewys as die safari-gids van die jaar, en sy kuier vanoggend saam met ons om 'n bietjie meer te vertel oor haar titel. Sarah, good morning and welcome.
Morning, thank you for having me.
So, congratulations firstly on being named Safari Guide of the Year for 2026. Looking back at your journey, Sarah, what first inspired you to become a safari guide?
Growing up in the UK, I had no idea that being a safari guide in South Africa was a potential career option. I'd always had this intense love for conservation and African wildlife, but it was only when I came out to South Africa doing a conservation volunteer program, I realized I could be a guide and that it would just be the perfect fit for me.
So where did this all start? So you came through to South Africa, you did the Safari Guide program, and did you go back home and said, you know what, this is what I want to do, or did you just never leave?
You know, I tried to go back a couple of times and it just didn't stick. Once the bug bit, that was it.
So safari guiding obviously requires a very unique combination of wildlife knowledge, people skills, and quick decision making. Which part of your job do you find the most rewarding on a daily basis?
The most rewarding part for me is definitely we get to see that moment where guests really connect with nature. They realize that we're a part of it, not separate. And that can be quite a life-changing moment for people. So it's really precious to be able to share in that with our guests.
So you mentioned life-changing moments. Now, you spend countless hours in the bush. I think it's a dream job. Has there been one wildlife encounter that you, completely changed the way you view nature and conservation that you can tell us about?
Oof, that's a hard question because obviously there's so many wonderful moments. I think in terms of changing the way we see things, being on foot in the bush is great for adapting our understanding of nature. So we often have this idea that we are separate from it, that this environment is nothing but volatile. When we're on foot in the bush, we have to learn how to change our behavior so that we can have one-on-one interactions with the animals. And we learn that we can do that in a totally safe and peaceful manner if we just behave in the right way.
So we've seen some encounters in various other big South African parks where people have tragically, been hurt by animals and that kind of thing. Do you think there should be a lot more education regarding conservation and wildlife and how to handle yourself when you encounter animals?
Definitely. Knowledge is power. And as soon as we understand how to behave out here, it makes it 1,000 times safer. So a lack of knowledge is what often leads to these tragic incidents.
So you work with these tourists and people coming over quite often. What would you say would be the top 3 things that people need to keep in mind anytime they encounter wild animals?
That's going to be hard to choose a top 3 just because every scenario is different. I think if I had to give one recommendation, it would be to listen to your guide. Your guides are there to facilitate this incredible experience to you and to keep you safe. If your guide gives you an instruction, follow it, and that will keep you nice and safe while you're out in the bush.
So that age-old saying is you just need to be faster than the last person. That's not relevant anymore.
Don't run.
So, Sarah, becoming only the second woman in 15 years, pretty impressive to win this prestigious title. Have you seen any opportunities for yourself, and do you think this sees opportunities for other women in the industry to know that this is really a career path that they can follow?
The industry has definitely become a lot more accessible for women. Of course, it's been a male-dominated field historically. There are still challenges, but women are starting to be able to see that this is a potential career option and that both women and men can excel at this.
So each of your guests arrive with some different expectations. How do you tailor a game drive so that both first-time visitors and also seasoned safari enthusiasts leave with unforgettable memories?
It's all about how you interpret what's in front of you. A good interpretation never gets boring, and you might be showing first-time safari goers what an impala is, but you can make that interpretation interesting and unique for the seasoned safari goers as well. So even though they may have seen impala hundreds of times, they're now able to experience them in a different and fascinating light.
Sarah, we're going to be back with you in a second. Dis ons gas op GROOTplaas vanoggend, Sarah Barratt, en sy het natuurlik weggestap met die veldgids van die jaar 2026 toekenning. Ons is terug op GROOTplaas net hierna. Welkom terug op GROOTplaas. Ons gas saam met ons vanoggend Sarah Barratt en sy is die safari-gids van die jaar vir 2026. So Sarah, we know that from this competition it tested a whole bunch of different skills. This was birding, tracking, storytelling, and also how you conduct yourself in terms of professionalism. Which of these skills took you the longest to master and why?
We were also evaluated on our rifle handling. That was probably the skill that took me the longest to get to grips with. Coming from the UK, I'd never even seen a firearm before I set foot in South Africa. It definitely took a lot of practice for me to get to grips with handling a 4.58, but I absolutely love it now, and that just makes it even more rewarding. To be honest, all of these skills are a lifetime commitment that we never stop developing.
Now, many people think safari guiding is simply, driving guests around the game farm, game reserve, but there's so much more that goes on behind the scenes as well. What are some of the biggest challenges people don't see?
You are juggling a lot of different roles as a guide, for sure. There's a lot going on the actual safari, and outside of safari time, we move in and out of different roles continuously. It could be conservation work, fire control, anti-poaching, alien species management. It could be work at the lodges, like lodge management, building fences, fixing vehicles, guest care, stock management. So we've got to be very adaptable. There's all sorts of roles that we are continually moving in and out of.
Now, conservation and tourism go hand in hand. In your experience, how important are safari guides in helping visitors become ambassadors for protecting South African wildlife?
Safari guides are crucial for helping guests become ambassadors for South African conservation. We are the facilitators of that connection that guests can make with the natural world. When we learn about something, we can start to connect with it. When we connect with it, we can start to love it. And when we love it, that's when we want to protect it. So we are playing a vital role in the conservation of South African wildlife.
Sarah, technology has also changed the way we see safari experiences, with guests often focusing on photography and social media more than the experience sometimes. How do you encourage people to put down the camera occasionally and simply just experience nature in its truest form?
Photography, of course, can be a wonderful addition to a safari experience, but I do like to try and encourage guests to be in the moment. Often, if I can see that guests have taken the desired pictures, I'll encourage them to put the phone down and just engage the senses. Listen to the noises of the bush around us, take a deep breath in, see what we can smell, feel the breeze on our faces. It's a great way to just try and disconnect from technology for a moment and immerse ourselves in the wonder of nature.
Sarah, so let's end off. We have about 30 seconds. For young South Africans who dream of working in conservation, similar to you, what advice would you give them in building their skills?
I would say don't give up. It can be quite daunting when you start off. There is a lot of skill sets to get to grips with, but if you are dedicated to your craft, you put in the time, effort, and love for your career, you'll be nothing but successful.
Sarah, thank you so much for chatting to us this morning. Have a lovely day. Dis Sarah Barratt en sy is onlangs aangewys as die safari-gids van die jaar en ons 'n bietjie gesels oor haar titel en natuurlik wat die wildlewe vir haar beteken. Dis al wat vir ons tyd het vir GROOTplaas vir vandag. Ons hoop jy het dit saam met ons geniet en dan kuier ons weer môreoggend saam.